everyone, welcome to YourPedia. I'm Shubhya, your English mentor. So as we have started with the series of your ATC English exam and started with the topic of spotting errors. In our last videos, we have already covered nouns, articles and adjectives and the very important rules which you need to memorize while solving the questions of them. So today in this video, we are going to jump on our next topic. That is a part of error spotting only, and that is going to be adverbs. Now listen one more thing. Before I head towards this video, I want all of you to note down the points side by side, plus note down the rules, and one more thing. In case you have missed the older videos, you need to check it out. Why? Because all the rules are so intermingled that in case you want to be the expert in this process, you need to memorize every rule in every part of speech. And then you can have the ability that, ma'am, this question came and I directly take the answer. And that is what we actually want to do, right? So let's start ahead with our next topic, that is the spotting errors, and inside spotting errors, we are going to start with the adverbs. Now you understand like what is adverb? So I tell you, adverb is a word that modifies a verb or an adjective or another adverb. Now see, the main purpose of adverb is to modify only, okay, and the modification can be in the whole sentence also. Like you remember, हमने adjectives में केस में क्या किया था? Adjective के केस में हमने modification की थी पर noun और pronoun की. Noun क्या होता था? A person, place or a thing. Articles कौन से होते थे? A, an and the. And now we are jumping. Adverb क्या होता है? Adverb वो चीज है जो modify करती है. किसको modify करती है? एक adjective को, एक verb को या फिर पूरे के पूरे sentence को. Now let's jump to the examples. जैसे रतन speaks loudly. भाई रतन बोलता है. रतन क्या आ गया? एक subject है, noun है. Speaks क्या आ गया? Verb है. लेकिन ये verb को explain कर रहा है loudly. Let's give you a very simple example. If someone say like Rita is beautiful. Okay, Rita सुंदर है. Rita is very beautiful. बहुत ज़्यादा सुंदर है. तो वो very क्या आ जाता है जो modify करता है adjective को, beautiful को, वो आ जाता है हमारा adverb. Clear? मधुबाला was a very beautiful actress. तो मधुबाला क्या आ गया हमारा? Noun आ गया. Beautiful क्या आ गया हमारा? Adjective आ गया. और इस adjective को किसने modify किया है? Very ने. Tiger runs too fast. Tiger दौड़ता है, पर कैसे? Too fast. Too here you can say it is modifying the word runs. किस तरह से fast दौड़ रहा है? बहुत ज़्यादा तेज चल रहा है. Too modifies fast है. Fortunately, I brought a car. So here, the entire word fortunately is building out is modifying the whole sentence. कि भाई किस्मत से मैंने कार खरीद ली है. So here, these are the words which help you understand what is an adverb, and adverb is something that modifies a verb, adjective or another adverb. Clear? And it can be the whole sentence. So you can even note it down. See, why you need to understand the concept prior to understanding the rules in case of it. I can directly jump to the rules, but I want all of you to understand कि पहले concept क्या है, उसका meaning क्या है. We will contribute, I guess, 10 minutes यहाँ पे लग जाएंगे. But these 10 minutes will help you out कि एक concept को अच्छे से revise करने में. आपने ऑलरेडी पढ़ा हुआ है nouns क्या होते थे, pronouns क्या होते थे, adverbs क्या होते हैं, preposition क्या होते हैं, but you went into some kind of a technical field or something, right? और उसकी वजह से क्या होता है, हमारा एक gap पड़ जाता है. And to contribute and to revive that gap, what we need to do is we need to memorize the concept first, and then we need to jump to our next topic. Now to understand this process better, here is a chart which will help you out. Like an adverb is a word that improves the adjective, verb which relates to एक किसी place की तरफ, time की तरफ या circumstance की तरफ. Now see, एक adverb है, वो हमें कुछ questions के answer कर रहा है. किस तरह से? Where, कहाँ पे हो रही है चीज? How, कैसे हो रही है? When, कब हो रही है? How often, कितनी बार हो रही है? How much, कैसे कैसे, कितनी quantity है उसकी? Right? Now it is like there is there. Where, कहाँ पे हुई? There. Here, inside, back, far, nearby, indoor, out. तो you can note it down कि कौन सी चीजें satisfy कर रही हैं adverb को in the terms of where. How, कैसे, fast, slowly, easily, weakly, badly, well, fast, quietly. So in this way the answer is कैसे हो रही है चीज. When, कब हो रही है, today, soon, later, now, tonight, yet, then, early, right? Next is how often, कितनी बार, always. Like it's simple say I always get late to my office. तो हर दिन का ये तो daily, often, once, usually, yearly, seldom, rarely. So here in this way you can understand कि कोई चीज कितनी बार हो रही है. How much, fairly, quite, very, rather, almost, just, too, deeply. The way I told Rita is very beautiful. तो very हमें बता रहा है कितनी beautiful है भाई, बहुत ज़्यादा सुंदर है. So this is telling us an adverb is a word that improves the adjective, the verb which relates to place, time or circumstance, right? And you can have a look on it कि in case आपको कुछ देखना है किस किस तरह के words को हम adverb में classify करते हैं. So these are there. Now we would jump to the next portion like kinds of adverb. We will discuss each portion individually, right? तो जैसे time के base पे आता है, manner के base पे आता है, frequency के base पे आता है, quantity के base पे आता है. I will discuss each and every with you. देखो पता क्या होता है, in classification we can classify into 5 types. In the next slide I will classify into number of types. जैसे ये भी आपको कितने types आ गए, 8 types. Every time the distribution is to make you understand in an easy manner. Now first I'll give you an elaborated version. Elaborated version से क्या होता है, आपको समझ आता है. जैसे हम सब classifications कर देते हैं, उसी तरह से आ जाता है आपका classification of this types of adverbs. So here it is like adverb of time. Adverb of time क्या बोलता है, these answers when, जैसे कब होती है वो चीज. These answers when, later, ago. ठीक है, तो कब हुई वो चीज, टाइम के बारे में पता चलता है हमें. बिफोर, अगो, वाइल, कितना वाइल हो गया. फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफर्स कि कितनी बार हो रही है वो चीज. ऑफन, जैसे मैंने बोला था आई ऑलवेज गेट लेट टू माई ऑफिस, आई ऑफन गेट लेट टू माई ऑफिस. Sometimes I visit my, you can say I visit my parental house, or sometimes I go to my ancestral house. So sometimes that is in the frequency. Adverb of place, कहाँ पर वो चीज हो रही है. In, out, below, out, average, कहीं पे भी वो चीज कहाँ पे हो रही है, किस जगह पर हो रही है. Manner tells us the condition, like how वो चीज हो कैसे रही है. If I say honestly, you need to understand this topic for the better version or better understanding of the entire topic. सब टॉपिक को समझना बहुत जरूरी है, तो वो मैनर बता रहा है. डिग्री, डिग्री हमने किया था एडजेक्टिव के केस में, अगर आपको याद है, लाइक पॉजिटिव डिग्री, कंपैरेटिव डिग्री, सुपरलेटिव डिग्री, एंड इट इज रिलेटेड टू दैट ओनली. इफ आई टोल्ड शी इज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, कैसी, कितनी ब्यूटीफुल है, वेरी, राइट. सो if I say tiger runs too fast, to was telling us the degree, kitna fast, right? Next you have the reason adverbs also, which tells us like these answers the question why. क्यों वो चीज हो रही है, ये पोर्शन है, ये रीजन है, तो consequently this thing is going on, or resultantly this thing is going on. Then you have the relative ones. Relative ones joins clauses and sentences together. These help as joining, where you need to join, like where the thing happens, why the thing happens, when the thing happens. So these are contributing in joining. Why? Because we get some answers to our questions. Next is attitude, how a person speaks. कभी किसी की आदत होती है हर चीज में, frankly I want to say this, clearly I want to say this. तो आप किस तरह से, आपकी पर्सनैलिटी कैसी है बोलने की, the person uses, तो that is your attitude adverbs. So see, simply you need to understand this. Why? Because आपको पता होना चाहिए कि adverb होते कौन कौन से हैं. अब तक हमने ये समझा है कि जो adverb होते हैं, they are simply, you can tell us that these help in modifying, better understanding of an adjective, verb, or it modifies a complete sentence, and we have its classification. Basically you can say in the subtypes are there. तो 5 types जो हमने ऊपर mention की थी, we will individually discuss on those types, right? तो very first was adverb of time. Time के basis पे हम करते हैं पहले. तो adverb of time is which expresses when a verb takes place is called as an adverb of time. तो कोई चीज हमें ये बता रही है कि वो चीज हो कब रही है, टाइम के बारे में, when that thing is happening. जैसे गुंजन comes here every day. गुंजन आती है, कब आती है? Every day she comes. मोहन arrived late in the office. तो late मोहन आया, पर कैसे आया? That is late आया. टाइम बता रहा है ना, जल्दी आया, late आया, तो that is adverb of time. So in the above sentences, every day is there, late is there. This expresses the time of verb come and arrive respectively. So here, this is an adverb कि गुंजन comes, कैसे? हर दिन. Late आया, मोहन arrived late, कैसे आया? Late आया. You can even note it down the other examples, जैसे today, yesterday, tomorrow, daily, soon, last night, next month, now, just, ago, just now, early, next week, recently, presently, immediately, before, since. तो ये सारी चीजें किस में आ जाती हैं? एडवर्ब ऑफ टाइम फ्रेम में. क्लियर? सो यू कैन नोट इट डाउन कि टाइम में एक्चुअल में ये चीजें क्या क्या है. क्लियर? लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट वन नाउ. एडवर्ब ऑफ मैनर. तो एडवर्ब ऑफ मैनर क्या बताता है? द एडवर्ब विच गिव्स द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द मेथड ऑफ एन एक्शन और हाउ द एक्शन इज डन. मैनर हमें बताता है कि हाउ एन एक्शन इज डन, is performed. That is telling us the manner. Like the tortoise ran slowly in the race. Now tortoise ran, लेकिन कैसे ran किया था वो? Slowly ran किया था. My driver politely opened the door. Politely, slowly. तो ये हमें चीज, किसी चीज की manner को बताते हैं. हम बोलते हैं ना, he is very kind or he is very polite. तो that is a manner. उसी तरह से adverb of manner क्या आ जाते हैं? उसे डोर को खोला, बड़े प्यार से खोला, politely खोला. तो this is there in the above sentences. Slowly and politely expresses the manner of verbs run and open respectively, and they are called as the adverb of manner. So here you can have a look on the other examples, like fast is there, slowly is there, hard is there, happily, calmly, sadly, rudely, frequently, greedily, loudly, kindly, carefully, clearly, lovingly, certainly, well doubtedly. All these are termed as the adverbs of manner. Clear? तो manner में हमें बता दिया गया कि किस तरह से action वो हो रहा है. ठीक है? Slowly हो रहा है, politely हो रहा है, kindly हो रहा है. So this all, right? Next you have is adverb of place. And what does adverb of place tells us कि जो action था वो कहाँ पे हुआ था. It tells us where the action happened, right? Where the action happened. Like God is everywhere. So everywhere is telling us about where the God is present. He promised to meet me in the office. कहाँ पर? तो हमें place के बारे में पता चल रहा है कि he promised to meet me in the office. In the above sentences, you see everywhere is there, in is there. These are used as adverb of place and they express the place where the action took place, where the action happened. अब इसके भी you can note down the examples like here is there, everywhere is there, above is there, in, out, away, below, up, near, somewhere, inside, ahead, high, bottom, outside, indoors, within. All these are giving us the categorization about the adverb of place. कि कोई भी हमें चीज, जब हमें वो word जो हमें place के बारे में बताए कि कहाँ पर वो चीज हो रही है, that is telling us about the adverb of place. See, you need to note it down the examples so that you have a better understanding कि किस चीज में कौन से examples cover up होते हैं. Next you have the adverb of frequency or number, which tells us how often that action take place. कितनी बार वो action हो रहा है. If I say I always get late to my office, तो always is telling us some kind of a frequency. I generally visit my friend's house. So generally is telling us that about the frequency. So here it is telling us the adverb which expresses the frequency or number of the verb, that how often the action takes place. So here you have always, often. These are telling us about the frequency of the verb, eat and make respectively. Now you have again the list of the examples which you can note it down, that how often, always, never, sometimes, rarely, seldom, normally, again, occasionally, continuously, firstly, lastly, twice, generally. All these are giving us the categorization amongst adverb of frequency. Adverb of frequency क्या है? Adverb of number क्या है? Clear? Now coming to the next, and do remember, इसके base पे I'll tell you a rule also. So do aware, be aware कि what is adverb of frequency? It is generally how often the action is taking place, and you can note down the examples too. Next you have is adverb of quantity or degree. See, degree is something that you can relate with the concept we have done in our last video about the adjectives, जिसमें हमने 3 degrees को समझा था, positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. So you need to revise that video also, and you need to do with this. Here it is telling us that explains the intensity or level, कितने intensity से कोई action हो रहा है. The adverb which explains the level, quantity or intensity of an adjective or another adverb is termed as an adverb of quantity or degree. Like here it is, Rose is a very beautiful flower. The same way I told, Rita is very beautiful. हमें पता है Rita beautiful है, but Rita is very beautiful, बहुत ज़्यादा सुंदर है. तो बहुत ने क्या बता दिया हमें? Quantity, intensity बता दी उस चीज़ की. Similar way, I am fully prepared for the competition. The same way you say, I am prepared for the competition. लेकिन fully हमें बता रहा है कि मैं बहुत अच्छे से prepared हूँ. And yes, we can be fully prepared for the competition once we do all the rules and regulations very formally. Clear? Note it down side by side. Now you have the examples. In the above sentence, you can say very, fully, all are the adverbs of quantity, degree, and they tell us how the quantity of adjective, beautiful and verb prepare respectively. Like almost, quite, very, too, so, well, rather, enough, just, hardly, simply, partly, nearly, partially, entirely, altogether, fairly, all they are telling us the adverb of quantity or the adverb of degree. So you can note it down. In this way, we have revised till now what was adverb. So adverb is something which modifies an adjective, a verb or an adverb or the whole sentence. And what are the categorization? We have further 5 types of adverbs. Coming to the list of 5, we have already done adverb of time, adverb of manner, adverb of quantity, adverb of degree, adverb of frequency, and in this way we have covered the 5 categorization, right? Coming to the most important part, the crux of this entire video lies in the rules while spotting the errors. Now see, you should be well versed with the concept. Once you're clear with the concept now, the rules and regulations become quite easy to understand. Now see, let's come to the very first rule. So what they are saying is, rule number 1. एक तो रूल्स जो भी हैं हमारे एडवर्ब के ज़्यादातर पोजीशनिंग पे बेस्ड है, वो हमें पोजीशन के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा बताते हैं. ठीक है, तो व्हेन एन एडवर्ब मॉडिफाइज एन एडजेक्टिव और अनदर वर्ब इट कम्स बिफोर इट. जब भी कोई एडवर्ब मॉडिफाई करेगा, चाहे किसी एडजेक्टिव को, एडवर्ब को, उसकी प्लेस क्या हो जाएगी? वो पहले आएगा. माई फ्रेंड गिफ्टेड मी अ वेरी ब्यूटिफुल सीनरी येस्टरडे. तो क्या आ गया? वेरी क्या आ गया? ब्यूटीफुल से पहले, एडजेक्टिव से पहले आया है. ही वेक्स अप टू अर्ली. तो टू कहाँ पे आ रहा है? अर्ली से पहले आ रहा है. So in this way, when an adverb is modifying any adjective, any adverb, the position of it is prior to both. Clear? So here very modifies beautiful, to modifies early, and they are placed before them. Clear? Next you have the same rule which we use in the maths also. कभी भी two negative इकट्ठे नहीं आ सकते हैं. When two negatives are together, they become plus. So in the same manner, do not use two negative adverbs with other negative adverb word in a sentence. Now see, you can hardly never understand his ways. The word hardly was discussed when I was discussing the video on adjectives कि hardly थोड़ा negative sense में use होता है. तो same way अब क्या आ जाएगा? वहीं से हमने concept को उठाया है. Hardly negative denote कर रहा है, never negative denote कर रहा है, meaning change हो रहा है. इंग्लिश में एक एक वर्ड का मीनिंग समझना बहुत नेसेसरी है. क्यों? सेंटेंस का मीनिंग बदल जाता है, कंटेंट चेंजेस. यू कैन हार्डली ever understand his ways, right? So this is the correct one, this was the incorrect one. Same way you can note down the examples कि कौन से examples हैं जो हमें ये बताते हैं कि negative adverbs कौन से हैं. Like never, seldom, hardly, scarcely, nothing, neither, nowhere, barely, rarely are the adverbs which should not be used with other negative words. So these are the negative words and they should not be used with other negative words. Clear? So here was the rule number 2. Now coming to the rule number 3, which is very important for us. देखो, this is also based, ये adjectives के साथ इतना link है video because every rule you are understanding, they have some kind of connection with adjectives. Now here also it is telling us about the degrees. The adverbs which end with ly, the adverbs which end with ly take more in front of them to form the comparative degree and most in front of them to form the superlative degree. Like, he urged Lata to sing more slowly. So slowly is some kind of an adverb and more is coming prior to it. Why? It is changing, it is forming an comparative degree. Slowly किससे end हो रहा था? ly से. आगे हमने more लगा दिया तो comparative degree बन गया. Of all the students, Rama answered the question most accurately. तो accurately में ly से end हो रहा था, हमने उसकी क्या बनानी थी? Superlative degree बनानी थी. तो आगे क्या लगा दिया हमने? Most लगा दिया. So when you have the rule, the adverbs that end with ly do use more in the form of comparative and most prior to them in the case of superlative. Clear? Next you have the rule number 4. Adverb of manner such as fast, quickly, well, carefully, etc. all are used after the verb if there is no object and after the object if there is an object in a sentence. तो क्या rule है? अगर हमारे पास manner, ये याद रखना, हम अपने सारे तभी types को समझा था. Adverb of manner की बात हो रही है इसमें. These are used after the verb. Verb के बाद लगेगा adverb in case it is telling us about the adverb of manner. अगर इसके पास object नहीं है. अगर object है तो object के बाद adverb लगेगा. So how you need to check it? You can take out the trace the examples. Tarun speaks English very well. तो speaks के आ गया हमारा verb, English के आ गया हमारा object, तो object के बाद हमारा लगा adverb. Clear? Next here you have the cat jumped quickly when it saw a rat. तो jumped क्या आ गया हमारा? It is an action verb. इसके बिल्कुल बाद लग गया, क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं था. तो अगर तो हमारे पास वर्ब है तो हम उसके डायरेक्ट बाद लगा देंगे एडवर्ब. अगर उसमें ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं है, नहीं तो हम ऑब्जेक्ट के बाद एडवर्ब लगेगा. नाउ सी, till now we have done 4 rules और जिसमें से you can say there were number of it which were based on the positioning. 2 तो positioning पे ही based थे, तो वो हमें याद रखने हैं. ly से end होगा, positioning कैसे आनी है, modification पहला रूल था, अगर वो modify कर रहा है तो वो आगे लगेगा. and second was दो negatives कभी भी इकट्ठे नहीं लगेंगे and I gave you the examples also, right? So when we moving to the next one, we have the rule number 5. Now it is based on the adverb of frequency. Frequency क्या था? How often that thing happens, such as ever, generally, always, seldom, never, often. These all we have a list, we had prepared a list. So they often come late in the office. Often is there. So it would come before the verb. अभी हम क्या कह रहे थे? Verb के बाद लगेगा, लेकिन frequency वाला क्या लग रहा है? Before the verb लग रहा है. Indra generally eats 2 chapatis in lunch. जनरली क्या है हमारा एडवर्ब ऑफ क्या आ रहा है? फ्रीक्वेंसी. और ये कैसे लग रहा है हमारा? दिस इज ऑल्सो कमिंग बिफोर द, यू कैन से, द वर्ब. सो जो फ्रीक्वेंसी वाले एडवर्ब्स आते हैं वो हमेशा बिफोर लगते हैं एडवर्ब्स के, राइट? नेक्स्ट यू हैव बिफोर द वर्ब्स. अब ये रूल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, दैट सो इज ऑलवेज फॉलोड बाय दैट, to is always followed by to. A very simple and the important rule and many questions are asked from it. तो क्या याद रखना है? Some adverbs like so and to should not use without their correlative word, जैसे कि that and to respectively. He is so strong that he can lift a cane of 100 kg. तो so के साथ क्या लग गया? That. The dish is too oily to eat. तो to के साथ क्या लग गया? To. तो ये याद रखना है, जब कोरिलेटिव वर्ड्स है हमारे पास तो उसमें क्या आ जाता है? इनका एक कनेक्शन है और ये हमेशा इकट्ठे ग्रुप में लगते हैं. क्लियर? तो अब हमने एक फ्रीक्वेंसी का किया था जो वर्ब से पहले लगेगा, सो और दैट, टू एंड टू वुड बी यूज्ड टुगेदर. नेक्स्ट वी हैव द सेम वे वी डिड इन द एडजेक्टिव्स कि कुछ वर्ड्स हैं उनका यूसेज किस तरह से आता है, नेगेटिव आता है, पॉजिटिव आता है. तो स्टिल इज टेलिंग अस सम काइंड ऑफ एन एक्शन which started from the past and it is still continuing in the future. Like suppose I left my home in the morning and my friend was doing his homework. I came home in the evening and my friend was still doing his homework. मतलब the action started from the past but it's still continuing in the present also. So here still is used. Yet का usage आता है, it is telling us some kind of a negativity. तो yet हमेशा कुछ हमें नेगेटिव को कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन कर रहा होता है, कंडीशनल सेंटेंस में यूज होता है. लाइक स्टिल, adverb still is used to express the action which continues from the past into the present, and despite being old he still runs fast. Adverb yet is used in negative sense and is a conditional sentence. Like, is Rahim working yet on his project? कि अभी तक रहीम अपने प्रोजेक्ट पर ही काम कर रहा है, तो कुछ नेगेटिविटी को डिनोट कर रहा है. Similar way, the rule number 8 is there, very and much. तो जैसे हमने याद है एडजेक्टिव्स में डिग्रीज पढ़ा था, पॉजिटिव डिग्री, कंपैरेटिव डिग्री, सुपरलेटिव डिग्री. तो वेरी हमेशा पॉजिटिव डिग्री में यूज होगा, एंड हमारा जो मच है दैट इज यूज्ड इन द, you can say, the comparative degree. So very is used in positive, much is used in comparative. How? Very is used to modify adjective and other adverbs in positive degree. Much is used to modify verbs, participles, adjectives and other adverbs in comparative degree forms. This storybook is very interesting. तो क्या है? बहुत interesting है. This is telling us a positive form. हम compare नहीं कर रहे हैं, compare नहीं कर रहे हैं इसमें हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Simple एक characteristic बता रहे हैं, trait बता रहे हैं कैसा है. I am feeling much better now. Better किसकी form है? Good की, good, better, best. तो इसमें क्या बता रहे हैं? हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं, पहले से हम अच्छा फील कर रहे हैं आफ्टर टेकिंग द मेडिसिन. दैट इज व्हाई वी यूज्ड मच. तो आई वुड नेवर से आई एम फीलिंग वेरी बेटर नाउ. नो, आई एम फीलिंग मच बेटर नाउ. मच फॉर द कंपैरेटिव and very for the positive degree. Right, now we are done with the 8 rules. 2 more rules for this, fairly and rather. So adverb fairly is used for favorable comment while rather is used for unfavorable comment. Now same way ये हमें positive denote कर रहा है, rather हमें negative denote कर रहा है. Radha is fairly good in dancing, so some kind of a positive one. Sham is rather poor in singing, so negative donation. तो याद रखना है कौन सी चीज पॉजिटिविटी को रिफ्लेक्ट कर रही है, कौन सी चीज नेगेटिविटी को. नेक्स्ट वी हैव लास्ट रूल. अब देखो, हमने हमेशा बोला है कि जो भी एडजेक्टिव्स हैं, जो भी एडवर्ब्स हैं, वो एडजेक्टिव से पहले लगेंगे. राइट, तो वी टोल्ड दैट एडवर्ब्स आर प्लेस्ड मोस्टली बिफोर द एडजेक्टिव. राइट, नाउ वी हैव वन डिस्टिंक्शन. जब भी एडवर्ब इनफ आएगा वो हमेशा एडजेक्टिव के बाद लगेगा. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज इसमें एरर स्पॉटिंग का बहुत ज़्यादा चांसेस है. स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट द पोजिशनिंग ऑफ इनफ. दे थिंक कि वो पहले लग जाएगा एडजेक्टिव के, पर नहीं, एडजेक्टिव के बाद लगता है. ही इज स्ट्रॉन्ग. अब स्ट्रॉन्ग क्या था? एडजेक्टिव. स्ट्रॉन्ग इनफ टू लिफ्ट अ बाइक विद बेयर हैंड्स. नेक्स्ट इज मीरा इज नॉट रिच इनफ टू बाय अ BMW. So not rich, rich के बाद लग रहा है enough. So in this way, enough comes after the adjectives, right? So this was a trace. Next you have some kind of a common mistakes. देखो, verbally also we make very kind of a, you can say, the distinctions are there जो असल में हम सही नहीं बोलते. If I give you a sentence, I am much happy to see you. It should not be much happy to see you. I am very happy to see you. Right? Why? Because it is used in a comparative one and it is used for a positive degree. For positive degree, it's very, and for comparative degree is much. She plays tennis good, so she plays tennis well. It won't be good, it would be well. I felt so lonely. I felt very lonely. I am very much sorry. And one more thing I tell you, very और much कभी भी इकट्ठे यूज नहीं होगा. Just remember it. Very and much won't be used together, and don't make this mistake. This question is generally asked कि very और much का usage इकट्ठा दिया होता है और वो गलत होता है. Clear? Next we have the grammar mistakes related adverbs. अब ये कुछ usage के based हैं जो हम generally करते हैं. He speaks the truth always. It would be he always speaks the truth, right? तो always की positioning हम बता रहे हैं. I only did 2 sums. I did only 2 sums. तो इसमें हम positioning के बारे में हैं. He cares a straw for it. She is not clever to do it. So these are the sentences which are incorrect. These go for the correct. What you can do is just forget about this, learn, write it down and do it on your own once you are वेल वर्स्ड विद द रूल्स, तो आपको खुद ही पता चल जाएगा कि कहाँ पे हमने पोजिशनिंग करनी है। जैसे सी, यहाँ पे हमने इनफ की पोजिशनिंग अब याद है ना सबको, एडजेक्टिव के बाद करनी थी। तो दीज आर गिविंग अस जनरल इंस्टेंसेस वेयर द एडवर्ब्स नीड टू बी यूज्ड, where you need to write it down, where you need to speak it up, and this can be done practiced only when you're well versed with the rules of adverbs. Clear? So these were the general ideas कि आपको use कहाँ पे करना होता है. Now before summing up, I want to have a quick revision of the entire video, whatever we have done in today's lecture, right? So let's start. What we are doing is, I have raised various important topics which are there for ATC English exam, right? We have started with the spotting errors. This is the fourth component of spotting error. This is the adverb. 3 have already been covered. Those who missed it can check it out. Next is, what was adverb? So adverb is something that modifies a verb, adjective, or another word verb, and it can modify the whole sentence. Now you have some kind of examples, you can note it down. Then it tells us about these questions answers कि कहाँ पे हमें where का आंसर देता है, how का आंसर देता है, when का, how often, how much. So you can note it down, what are the examples, what are the words which are used in adverbs. Then you have the kind of adverbs. तो हमारे पास 5 different kinds हैं, time के basis पे, manner के base पे, place के base पे, frequency, quantity. This is also a sub-categorization. If you want to understand it a little more, you can say in an elaborate version. Then we started with the adverb of time, which is telling us about the time expresses कब वो चीज हुई है. गुंजन comes here every day, हर दिन आती है. मोहन arrived late, तो late. और ये हमारे पास क्या थे, एग्जाम्पल्स थे adverb of time के. Next we did manner, कि कोई चीज हमें method, कैसा एक्शन हुआ है. So it is telling us about the examples, you can note it down too. Next you have adverb of place, कि कोई चीज, कोई एक्शन कहाँ पर हुआ है. तो it is telling us, जैसे God is everywhere, तो हर जगह है. He promised to meet me in the office, तो in हमारा action, adverb आ जाता है. So here you have the examples for that too. Next you have adverb of frequency or number. So adverb which expresses us कि कितनी बार वो action हो रहा है. तो जैसे मैं ऑफिस लेट आ रही हूँ, तो कब से आ रही हूँ, ऑफन आ रही हूँ, जनरली आ रही हूँ, किस तरह से, उसमें भी राइट यूसेज क्या है, यहाँ ऑलवेज आती हूँ, आई रियरली गेट लेट टू माई ऑफिस, तो दिस इज देयर. माई अंकल रिजाइड्स इन कैनेडा एंड ही कम्स often or he comes rarely, he comes seldom. So you have to use the right usage of the word जो हमें frequency के बारे में बताता है. Adverb of quantity, degree, जो हमें intensity के बारे में बताता है. She is very beautiful, तो very हमें क्या बता रहा है, उसकी intensity. And then you had certain list of it. Then we started with the most important thing while spotting the errors. Rules कौन से याद रखने हैं. When an adverb modifies an adjective or another adverb, it comes before it. पोजिशनिंग पे बेस्ड है, जब मॉडिफिकेशन हो रही है तो पहले आएगा. एंड देन वी हैड सर्टेन एग्जांपल्स फॉर इट. कभी भी 2 नेगेटिव वर्ड्स इकट्ठे नहीं यूज होंगे. 2 नेगेटिव यूज होंगे तो सेंटेंस का मीनिंग बदल जाएगा. एंड हेयर वी हैड गिवन यू सर्टेन वर्ड्स व्हिच यू नीड टू रिमेंबर, इनके साथ नेगेटिव वर्ड नहीं आएगा. रूल नंबर 3 वाज व्हेन एन एडवर्ब एंड विद ly, अगर उसको कंपैरेटिव में बनाना है तो आगे मोर लगा दो, उसकी सुपरलेटिव डिग्री बनानी है तो आगे मोस्ट लगा दो. Then we had adverb of manner, जो भी manner के बेस पे adverb होंगे, if there is an verb after it, तो verb के बाद adverb लगेगा. अगर object है तो object के बाद लगेगा. It is also telling us about the positioning of the adverb of manner. Adverb of frequency जो आ जाता है हमारे पास, and we have a list of it, they come before the verb they modify. तो they often come, तो often पहले आ गया come के, तो that is telling us adverb of frequency है, वो पहले आएगा हमारे verb के. Some adverbs like so and that, अब so और that हमेशा इकट्ठा यूज होगा, to और to इकट्ठा यूज होगा, because these are the set of correlative words and they're used together. Still and yet, still is telling us about some kind of an action which started from the past and it is still continuing in the future. Yet is used in a negative sense. Very is giving us a degree, हमें positive degree के बारे में जब हमें sentence बोलना है. Much हमें क्या बताता है, कोई चीज comparative degree में यूज हो रही है. Fairly हम positive sentence के लिए यूज करते हैं, rather हम comparative sentence के लिए यूज करते हैं. And the last, very important, enough जब भी यूज होगा adverb, ये हमेशा adjective के बाद आएगी इसकी positioning, इसकी adjective के पहले positioning नहीं आएगी. So these were the set of the rules. Then we did some of the mistakes जो हम बोलने टाइम करते हैं. Then there were certain ideas how you need to place your adverbs, and you can do it very well once you're well versed with it. Next, in the next video, before summing it up, I want you to note it down कि हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में क्या करने वाले हैं, हम prepositions का नेक्स्ट कंपोनेंट करेंगे, दैट इज prepositions, जिसमें मीनिंग ऑफ prepositions है, What is preposition, हम लिस्ट ऑफ prepositions, कितनी तरह की prepositions होती हैं, कौन सी preposition को कहाँ पे यूज करते हैं, बिकॉज यू ऑफन गेट कंफ्यूज्ड एज इन कहाँ पे आएगा, इनटू कहाँ पे आएगा, एट, ऑन, इन, किस जगह पर किस तरह से यूज हो रहा है, लाइक फॉर, सिंस, फॉर कैसे यूज होंगे, विद और बाय में क्या डिफरेंस है, या फिर यूज से बिटवीन और अमंग में, एंड द लिस्ट गोज ऑन, लाइक वी हैव सो मेनी ऑफ इट विच यू गेट कंफ्यूज्ड and we will be discussing each and every in detail, right? Ago or before में क्या difference आता है, to or towards में क्या difference आता है. So here the list will go on. We will have a okay. So let's sum up the entire video. So in this way we have done the major portion adverbs in this video, and in adverbs what we have done is, what is adverb, क्या होता था? So it is telling us some kind of a modification of the verb, adverb, or the whole sentence, or the adjective even. Then we did the components, the 5 main components of adverbs. Then we did the rules which were necessary while spotting the errors in the case of adverbs. So here we are summing up with this also. Coming soon, I'll be coming soon with the next of the topic also of preposition. I want you to be consistent. Keep practicing most of the questions, just attend the live sessions, live classes, everything is very beneficial for you, right? So I wish you all the best. Note down the rules, watch the older videos also, because all rules are going to be intermingled, and we will come soon with the most and beneficial videos for you. Take care, have a nice day, and all the best. Keep preparing. Bye bye.